Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Monday morning, welcome back. First broadcast day of June, and it belongs to all of you. The time is 9:03, and we got a good one for all of you today. We're going to be talking to OSF Healthcare in just a few short minutes or so, maybe about 15. Then Grid Solar joins us in the 10 o'clock hour, along with Trinity's Way. Trinity's Way joins us first. Then Grid Solar joins us next as we start our solar energy segments, where we learn about the industry and some of the benefits that await you with a truly trusted partner. I mean, solar is one of those things, man, where it's like roofing. You know, the hail comes and all of a sudden there's 45 people knocking on your door, right? Well, this happened to me last week. I was I don't know if I told you this, my parents were out of town, so I went and took care of the pig and all that stuff. So was going over to let the pig outside and all that, and this guy in a blue shirt's walking down the road. And believe it or not, I'm not the friendliest person to begin with when it comes to soliciting. It's just not for me. I get it. We all have to sell, but people hang up the phone on me here all the time, so get used to it. It's my thought. Well, I'm walking, and the guy goes, "You the homeowner?" And I said, "No," and they don't want it either. You know, I'm walking inside. And for 5 minutes, just kept trying to talk to me. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't. I get your hustle here, but keep moving down the road. But for some of you, just know always that you can ask to see their permit, and if they don't have one, call the non-emergency number and let's get them out of the village, because solar energy is here to stay, and you need those trusted partners like Grid Solar. So Grid Solar is going to join us and fill us in on all of that and a bag of chips and more. Then around 10:35, we're talking to Mary Cordes, where we're going to go beyond the shelves with Hainer Library, and we learn more about our community staple. That all happens coming down the next 2 hours, and you can join us on the text line, or you can just shoot me a Facebook message. But I'm proud of myself. Before I do news, I got my car clean. Well, started on Friday. My office was clean. My car got cleaned out, and I had soccer season. And if you're a coach out there, or you have student athletes, or all the busy stuff, when you're in the peak months, you don't realize how dirty your car gets until you spend 30 minutes cleaning it out, on a Saturday morning. Anyway, I got a lot accomplished. Now we have a week to get some news accomplished. And at 9:05, here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update and text RB to 618-202-4618. That's RB, the letters RB, capitalized. Text 618-202-4618 to sign up, where we'll alert you on breaking news, weather alerts, closings and cancellations, sports scores, and a whole heck of a lot more. And just join in on the fun. Here's what's happening around the Riverbend on this Monday morning. We'll take you to Alton first. Studio 420 on East Broadway, we discussed this on Friday, has closed its doors once more effective May the 30th. Despite reopening in April, after a significant raid by law enforcement on the 29th of March, the CBD and tobacco shop is now shutting its doors permanently. The raid had led to the seizure of properties, vehicles, and nearly $400,000 in cash, though no criminal charges have been filed, according to the Madison County State's Attorney's Office. The shop, located at 1104 East Broadway, owned by Zachariah Yinger, the future of the seized assets remain uncertain at this time. However, your daily dose of local will always keep you informed when more details emerge. Also in Alton, a Alton man has been charged with attempted first-degree murder and additional offenses following a violent incident during a domestic dispute. Here's what we know. Ian M. Reynolds, 18 years of age, reportedly stabbed an individual on May the 11th after threatening to kill him. Reynolds is also charged with aggravated battery and domestic battery. He allegedly bruised the victim by grabbing their arms, shoved them against a wall, and threatened to harm their dogs. When the stabbing victim attempted to intervene peacefully, Reynolds obtained a knife and attacked. The victim, critically injured, but now is stable. Reynolds remains in jail, awaiting his initial court appearance. Also in the news, a 20-year-old Granite City man, Gavin K. Redden, faces multiple felonies after allegedly stealing a Ford F-250 and crashing it into a tree. Here's the latest. Authorities say Redden strangled the vehicle's driver to take control of the truck on the 4th of May following the theft. Redden fled at high speeds before the crash and then left the scene. He is charged with vehicular hijacking, unlawful possession of a stolen motor vehicle, and leaving the scene of an incident. Redden remains in custody, with court documents noting these charges are based upon probable cause and is considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. In Madison County, Treasurer Chris Slusser is informing property owners that tax bills are being mailed for over 135,000 parcels, with the first installment due by July the 3rd. Slusser emphasizes that his office only collects taxes, while the actual bills are determined by assessments, multipliers, tax rates, and exemptions. Despite rising property values, Madison County has not increased its tax levy in the past 8 years. The treasurer encourages electronic billing registration to save on costs and offers multiple payment options, including online and even in person. Taxpayers are reminded to update their addresses with the Chief County Assessor's Office to ensure bill receipt. In sports, the Triad Night girls soccer team advanced to the state championship over the weekend, and we'll have more for you on how their state final went. However, it marked Triad's 7th trip to the state final since 2017. The decisive moment came in the 73rd minute when Cameron Bohensteth scored from a corner kick delivered by Maddie Hunt. Knights goalkeeper Peyton Hartman made key saves to preserve their lead, contributing to the team's 17th shutout of the season. And we'll have more for you in the 10 o'clock on how their state final went. Finally, in news this morning, 2 individuals have been charged after a court-authorized search warrant was executed at a residence in the 1800th block of Churchman Hollow Road in Campsville. Here's the latest. On May the 23rd, the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, assisted by the Pike County Sheriff's Office, carried out the search. Roy C. Connell, 51, was arrested for a felony warrant violation of pretrial release and unlawful possession of fentanyl. Lisa Ballman, 51, was charged with obstructing justice and concealing a fugitive. Both were arrested without incident. Connell is held without bond in Pike County Jail, while Ballman was released with a notice to appear in court. The time is 9:10. It's 77 degrees already here in the 618. Let's take a look at your weather for the 3rd of June. Temperatures will reach 87 degrees today. They'll drop down to 70 overnight. We have a 60% chance of thunderstorms. More rain predicted throughout the week. We'll get there in a second. Temperatures reach 87 degrees today. Drop down to 69 overnight. Today, warm, and it will be humid. Various cloudiness and gusty thunderstorms potentially this afternoon. The note says to watch for flash flooding. Hail and localized damaging wind gusts are predicted tonight. An evening thunderstorm in spots, otherwise mostly cloudy, and it'll just be humid. You can always call for time and temperature throughout the day by giving this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home. Also, the Liberty Village of Jerseyville wants you to know about the villas. To learn more about your next spot and you're taken care of in luxury, 618-946-7336, and make sure you tell them who sent you over their way. Today, grass is at moderate levels, mold and ragweed both low, but tree levels in pollen are at moderate at 50. The UV index right around 8, which is high today. So if you're out in the yard doing some yard work for a few hours, might want to slap on some SPF 50. Right now, as it sits, At 9:11 on this third day of June, it's 77 degrees. It feels like 83. Coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, a high of 81, a low of 70, an 85% chance of thunderstorms on Wednesday, a high of 81, a low of 66, a 55% chance of thunderstorms. On Thursday and Friday, both partly cloudy skies and spitting images of weather patterns Thursday and Fridays. Both days, a high of 80 degrees, and both days, a low of 60 degrees, along with both days, a 6% chance of rain. So I think we're in the clear after Wednesday. Before we take a quick break, let me fill you in on RP Lumber and their June sale. Listen, we've seen some yards out there. Some of you seized the day in April. You went out to RP Lumber. You grabbed all the tarps. You grabbed all the equipment. You got your yard looking nice. I give myself a C-. I think it could look better. I think it could look worse, but it's not the worst house in the block. You know what I'm saying here? You could feel about the same as I am, or even better, by stopping by and getting 10% off all in-stock garden hoses. You know, what about those safety glasses when you're weed eating? Oh, man, I had all that stuff hit me in the face the other day. It was like a war zone, and I could have gone blind. Or I could just go to RP Lumber and get this Edge eyewear. They look good. They don't have that bulkiness to them, that cheap plastic. No, this is quality. $7.99 to $45.99 on those Edge eyewear safety glasses. Plus, what about this? I have an alleyway, and I'm about ready to do all of my neighbors a big old service. I'm going to get some PermaPatch Instant Permanent Pavement Repair from RP Lumber at $21.99, and I'm going to fill up those 4 potholes that are sticking in that alleyway, and our cars will thank us immediately. What about this non-contact voltage tester? Just $11.99, $19.99 for that first aid rechargeable home fire extinguisher. How about this? You need a surge protector, $49.99 for one of those 8 outlet ones. You're saving $10. Perfect for holidays when you have Christmas lights, you name it, or any of that outside fun. Or how about this? You got to get up a couple of steps there. You don't want to get that chair out. You don't want to take a tumble, and all of a sudden you crash to reality. $29.99 for a folding step stool that's 28 inches high, and then the smart flow trigger operated power roller. You're looking at $24.99, and you are saving $5. All you got to do is click on the RiverBender.com wallpaper, or just go to rplumber.com/promotions, enter your zip code, stop on by, save big, make your yard look great, and win big with a nice spot right here throughout the summer. That's rplumber.com/promotions, and once you stop in, just tell them that Riverbender sent you over their way. We'll take a quick break, but before we do, let's take a look at Skycam and see how downtown Alton's looking on this Monday morning. We'll come back with more after this.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof, because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. 9:17, welcome back. Monday morning hitting you. Third day of June belongs to Christy Davis, OSF Healthcare. How are you doing again?
I'm doing really well. The weather outside is so good. I heard you talking about it.
Is it
so
humid?
Nice. Me, personally, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'll take this over that snow and ice we get every single day.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then, I'm always the person, though, Christy, that goes, man, I'm tired of it being humid already. And then by September and October, when it cools down, I'm like, where's the heat going?
Yeah.
It's too cold out there.
Yeah, I'd rather have the heat all day long.
So June, we are in June.
We are.
Is dysphagia month.
Dysphagia or dysphagia, either which way is good. But May actually was Better Speech and Hearing Month, and it goes right into June, which is Dysphagia Awareness Month. So you're good on both counts.
All right, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Number one, what's dysphagia?
So dysphagia is a very fancy word that means difficulty swallowing, and everybody has had that moment where you drink something, you eat something, you laugh or whatever, and it feels like it's going down the wrong way. It's because sometimes it does.
Really?
Yeah.
And now I'm sure some people have more of a issue with this than others do, and I got to ask you.
Yeah.
I think I've been doing some wrong swallowing practices. Hear me out here. I've gotten used to the whole Advil thing in the morning. Pop a 2 Advil, feel pretty good. And I'm not using water. Is that going to cause me some issues later on down the road?
Personally, I would like you to use a little bit of water. As we age or grow wiser, as I like to tell everybody, everything kind of dries out a little bit. And there have been cases of people that do pills and get it in the mouth and in the throat where it's really dry, and it'll actually stick to the inside of your throat.
Oh.
So maybe use a little bit of water next time.
There we go. Well, Christy, for the folks at home that don't remember our last chat, fill us in on what you do at OSF Healthcare before we start talking about this important topic.
Sure. So I am a speech language pathologist. Some people call it an SLP for short, and not a whole lot of people know what I do, and that's okay. It's kind of like...
Now fill us in on what you do.
Right. I like when people underestimate me. So in SLP, a lot of people think of like a speech teacher for when their kids were little and having trouble doing their R's. But a speech language pathologist, we actually see people throughout their whole entire lifespan. So those babies who are born too early or with some extra needs, they might be seeing people in the NICU to help them with feeding or swallowing. And of course, we have that large group of speech teachers or speech pathologists who are in the schools helping kids with their language, with their talking, with their sound. There's even a whole avenue for speech pathologists. If you've ever heard your favorite celebrity on a movie doing a weird accent, a lot of SLPs are actually helping them get that Irish slang or that modification. It also goes the other way. So if we have somebody from a different part of the world coming in and they're trying to do their English, it's an SLP who helps them kind of smooth that out, make it a little bit more clear. But on the other end of the spectrum, when we talk about babies and adults, I actually work with older adults. So, everybody swallows every single day, of course.
Right.
It's up to like 1,000 times a day that you swallow. So my specialty is actually swallowing disorders. So when everyone thinks first of maybe someone having a stroke, for example.
Yep.
And swallowing is one of those things that's affected. Everyone thinks, oh, the facial droop. But really, the brain has the center for everything. So swallowing, talking. So if you break your brain during a stroke, you could also experience up to 80% of people have trouble swallowing.
What about falls? Does that affect it too? If you fall hard on the back of your, if you hit the back of your head in a certain way, does that have a similar effect too?
So you could have a concussion, you could have a head injury. And sometimes I see people for that to actually work on cognition and memory and things like that. But yeah, if you hit your head hard enough, you could also have trouble swallowing. So, but adults with or children with CP, dementia, Parkinson's disease, ALS, all of those things, swallowing is a symptom, or difficulty is swallowing is a symptom of one of those. And so we've got to work on taking care of that.
Well, and I could only imagine. I mean, just when you were talking about the 1,000 times a day, I mean, we probably know as people 10 times or 12 that we probably swallowed, the day and go, oh, yeah, I did. Just have to swallow there.
Yeah.
But my thought is, Christy, at night, when we're sleeping, we don't realize that our body's still doing those, natural things like swallowing, breathing, everything else. But what happens if you have that difficulty swallowing and you're going to bed and you're waking up with major issues? Do you help tackle that too?
Absolutely. So people who don't have trouble, you actually swallow about 3 times an hour in your sleep.
That's wild. See, I figured.
So, but then as, again, we grow wiser, the swallow slows down. People get a little bit more weight on them and they get sleep apnea, for example, or you get acid reflux from eating too much barbecue the night before. Things can actually come up from your stomach and they can get as high as your throat, and you can actually get things falling into your airway, which is where all of this becomes really a problem. Mm-hmm. So it can come in through your throat, you swallow wrong, it gets into your lungs, or you eat a little bit too much, drink a little bit too much the night before, it can actually come up and it can cause different types of injury if it gets into your lungs.
Wow. Yeah. That's dangerous.
It can be very dangerous, yeah.
What are some of the things that you have to work on with your patients that are having some of those difficulties? Because to me, it's, you can easily put a Band-Aid on a cut, but how do you really work the internal, workings of our muscle system and our, digestive system and all of those things?
Yeah, so swallowing alone works about 50 different pairs of muscles within your mouth and in your throat. That's wild. If you think of like a trauma or like stroke, or one whole side is affected, you have a left and a right side. So if one whole side is affected and you have to squeeze during that swallow and you're not getting that squeeze, it's falling the wrong way. So the first thing I usually do is I see a lot of people within the emergency room, if we're using stroke as an example, and I will come in at the bedside or at the stretcher and I'll talk to them and figure out their risk factors, because some people are going to be at a higher risk than others. Mm-hmm. There's also 2 main ways that we like to look at it as SLPs. One is a video x-ray. So I take them into a small x-ray suite, we turn on the camera, I give them things to eat. It doesn't taste very good because it's x-ray contrast. Yeah, I always tell them I am a bad cook, but I just
with all the advancements in medicine, you'd think they'd make a better tasting x-ray contrast.
Yeah, you would think, but no, not so much. And so then I give people different things to eat and we watch that, and I can actually see them chew, I can see them swallow, because the airway is really close to the esophagus. And so if one pathway is taken over the other, I can actually see that happening. And from that way, I can see what muscles we need to work on. If it's a strength problem, if it's a structural problem, if they really did, I have had people swallow their denture in the wrong place. And
no way.
Yeah, so don't sleep with those either when you get that.
How do you get that out?
That's where my friends, my physicians come in handy. I will get a picture and go, I have somebody for you today. And they will have to go in with a very tiny tube-like thing and go in and grab it and pull it out.
Oh my good. I couldn't imagine the pain of that though.
Thankfully, we knock people out for that.
Oh,
so,
no, I mean, just feeling it though, whenever it's lodged, that's gotta hurt too.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got to ask you, before we go any further here, Christy, how'd you get into this? Was this something you always wanted to do? Does it hit close to home? Is there a tie-in?
Well, I am homegrown. I am from around here. Generations have been around here. So I was going to Lewis and Clark. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I thought maybe sign language interpreter. So I was going and taking all the classes, and I go to my counselor and I said, okay, I'm getting ready to transfer. What do you think? My counselor says, well, I've heard that you like to talk a lot. This is an absolute true story. I hear that you like to talk a lot. So when you go over to SIUE, I want you to try this speech pathology, 101 class, and see what you think about it. And I sat there for a moment, and I'm like, is he trying to be helpful, or is this like a backhanded
Right.
kind of compliment.
Right.
I wasn't quite sure what that was. So I tried out the class. I'm like, so I get to talk all day and I get to help people. I could do that. So I have a look
Win-win.
back.
Yeah, win-win. Now, how'd you
yeah.
get to OSF? Was it just, we already talked roots were here. Was this just the landing spot you wanted to be at?
I love the sense of community, and we are so fortunate in the St. Louis region. We have so many different hospitals that specialize in so many things, but OSF brings that great, like, boutique almost feel.
Yeah.
You get that personal feel. I can look at the whole person because I've got time to do so. And then my favorite thing is being in the community. I can go to, like, the store, the grocery store, wherever. Usually, I don't shop. My husband does. I just push the cart.
Oh, good for you. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
right? It is, yeah.
Tell them your secrets here.
I am. I'm very spoiled. But my favorite thing is seeing that person that I helped at the hospital in those places, and they don't recognize me anymore. And I am a memory. And I love that. That means we got them. We did our job as therapists because I work a lot with our physical therapist, our occupational therapist. And that's our goal, is to get you back home. And what better place to do that than closer to home?
Well, honestly, too, Christy, all the advancements that you guys have made, not patronage because you're here, but I mean, everything you guys have added the last 4 or 5 years has just made it even better to not have to drive across the war zone that's 270, you know, and you get quality care. But, you know, my grandma was an ICU nurse at St. Anthony's, and she was there forever. And it's so cool to see some folks that, you know, some of them were on the, you know, a very dire situation and, you know, they lost a loved one, but 25 years later, they're still going, hey, thanks for taking care of, you know, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And it's not the patient normally, it's the loved one because they were, you know, more observant, but it's just really, it shows how much care, how much effort it takes to really be a community hospital too.
It does, because I have worked at different hospitals in my career, some big, some really big, but you don't have that opportunity to have that personal touch with people. And it's so much fun, like I said, being in the community or seeing the sister or seeing the mom that later comes to the hospital and said, I had to come back to see you guys because I felt taken care of.
Yeah.
And that means a lot. We get to take care of our patients in every way and in all ways.
Absolutely.
So.
And you don't have anyone, you know, in a Nissan Altima with temp tags running you off the road on the way to work. That's always good.
Yes.
You know, with that being said, Christy, we talked a little bit about some of the work that you do, but let's go a little bit further. So we talked strokes, but is there any other common disorders that you would help treat?
So there's so many in a typical day that I can see.
Really?
We talked about growing wiser. So dementia is one of those things. So as people grow wiser, the swallow also slows down. People lose their teeth. They don't want to wear their dentures when they're sick and in the hospital, and that's absolutely okay. We've had some people, unfortunately, who have things like Parkinson's disease, and that's a lifelong, progressively degenerative disease. So you might be eating something, regular foods like French fries and hamburgers early on, but later you come to see me and maybe something has changed and we have to make those foods softer. I also see a lot of people with head and neck cancer, for example, and while they're going through the journey, we have to make a lot of changes depending on the treatment that they're going through, including the most invasive, my last resort is a feeding tube in the belly, and some people cannot eat by mouth. Now, can you imagine going through a day and not eating or drinking?
I could not imagine that at all.
Yeah.
Because I would assume, I'm not a medical expert, obviously, that's why I host a talk show and talk to experts, is the fact that, you know, even though you're getting nutrients, you aren't getting that satisfaction because you
Exactly.
aren't. Yeah. Is that true?
Exactly. So people miss that so much. And if you think about when your loved one is sick, what do? You want to bring them chicken noodle soup. It's a social thing.
Yeah.
Swallowing is such a big deal. And when you have to take that away in certain disease processes, my goal, of course, number one, first is I want you to be safe. I don't want you choking. I don't want it going down the wrong way. If it goes down the wrong way, we'll have something even like a pneumonia that can crop up.
Oh.
Yeah, so sometimes I have to say, okay, we cannot eat by mouth right now. We're going to put this tube in your belly, but the plan is to get it out later.
What happens, and I know that, you know, I'm kind of jumping around here,
You're good.
but it's whenever you were talking, it just, all these thoughts come to mind. For someone that has something like an MS, you know, or something to where we know that, you know, this is going to keep getting progressively worse as we go down this journey. How do you tackle that with somebody that, you know, maybe is having an issue swallowing, going through some type of degenerative disease, knowing the end game is what it is.
Right.
What do those conversations look like? But what does the care look like too? Because you said 50 different muscles to swallow. Can you target certain muscles just to get them to work for the time being if something else starts to fail? Is that how? Is there something there?
Yeah, it depends on the disease process. So MS, for example, it has flares. So some days you're great and other days you're not. So you might come in on one of those flares to come see me, and burger and fries might have been yesterday's menu, but today you're having a flare and now you can't chew.
Yeah.
So then I go in and we have to figure out, okay, what does work? Can you drink smoothies today? Then we'll work on smoothies because we can add tricks and tips, and that way we can avoid any kind of feeding tube. Sometimes we can't. Some diseases progress to the point things need to be removed, for example, in head and neck cancers. But advances have come so far. We have a great cancer center.
Yeah,
and
you
so I work with that team a lot, and we sit down and we're like, what can we do for this patient? 20, 30 years ago, they would just take everything out and be like, okay, well, you're alive. Yay. And then you get a tube in your belly. Now it's what can we do? And we work within this team. What can we do to give the best option and the best life? When I see people in the hospital, I always say it's like a triangle. At the top of the triangle is safety. So I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to choke. But for some people, I do see at the end of life, and safety isn't really the biggest priority.
Comfortability,
so, yeah, so we want enjoyment because I have a lot of people who are like, no, thanks, I'll take my chocolate cake and coffee.
Yeah.
Cool, let's do that. So then we try to figure out the best way or the safest way that you can still have food and still have that enjoyment, still have those memories with your family, mom's spaghetti and meatballs or something like that, but still not causing you pain or discomfort or a lot of injury.
Right. Well, and before we take a quick pause, one quick question for you before we come back. When you treat different ages, because I'm sure you've had to treat a child or somebody that's younger, how does the care kind of differ when you're working with a 7, 8-year-old, 12-year-old compared to someone that's maybe 65, 70? Is it just the way you go about it to make sure they're comfortable and knowing, hey, here's what's going on? Do you have any fun little, kind of nicknames or games that you do to kind of keep them occupied? How does that look?
So with kids, I get to have fun. I get to play.
That makes sense. I was kind of wondering that. That's cool.
So when the kids, we get to play with our food. We get to touch our food. We get to use our hands more and goldfish crackers, whatever that may be. And I don't have to use all those big girl words. I can, instead of saying epiglottis, I can say that flappy thing. Some days we have those days where those big words aren't coming out anyway. So it's easier
Normally me on the show.
Yeah. Right? And I talk all day, so sometimes we get into that point of the day, I'm like, the thing. And it happens to the best of us. But with some adults, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's so absolutely true. So if I go in and go, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, I'm not looking at that person. Yeah. But if I go in and go, what's your goal? Like, is your goal to go home and have your chocolate cake and your coffee? Is your goal to get better? Do you want all your teeth pulled? Like, that's our starting point, not exactly like where I'm looking at anymore.
That's really fascinating. Do you have a moment to stick around?
I do.
9:34. I was getting ready to ask more questions, but I got to pay some bills here. I'm going to get in trouble. Hey, let me fill you. We're talking about swallowing and how important that is, and you were just mentioning teeth. For all you little ones out there that are going into middle school, parents, I get it. You're at the braces stage in life, and good luck. However, whenever you're making that decision, let me fill you in on Haug Orthodontics. They're locally trusted, and they've been here for over a decade. Dr. Haug's office really treats you just like Christy does, as a person. Where you're bringing your child in, maybe you're going in yourself. You aren't going in feeling nervous. Your child isn't going in feeling like, oh my goodness, what happens here in about 30 minutes? You're just going to go see Dr. Haug, and she's going to take care of you. That personal approach that really helps you keep moving on down the road, especially when it comes to orthodontics. And let me fill you in on Invisalign treatments. That's the big thing right now, and so many things online. Have you seen those where you can get those like made in 2 days and they ship them to? Do you really want to take the chance on whatever the hell they threw in that plastic? I mean, let's be honest here. You don't even know what's in your energy drink anymore, let alone your Invisalign. But when you go to Dr. Haug's office, the Invisalign is top of the line. We're talking top tier, but the care that you receive is even better. I encourage you to stop by Dr. Haug's office, and don't forget to tell him that CJ sent you over their way.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote
Welcome back. 9:38, a little bit of change on this Monday morning. Christy Davis back in studio. We're just talking. So dental or oral health really does play a factor in swallowing disorders sometimes?
Oh my gosh, yes, so much so. So if you have an open wound, you're going to treat it. You're going to clean it, right? Mm-hmm. People don't treat their mouth that way, and it's a big open space to the inside of your body. So if you have germs from a decayed tooth and you swallow some of that germ, or that germ makes it into from your mouth to your lungs, you can absolutely get respiratory disease. You can get bronchitis. You can get a pneumonia. But there's also this huge correlation with things even like dementia being associated with bad teeth.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why. Go to your dentist.
Yes, please.
Do I have a dent? Oh, I orthodontist. I need a dental sponsor now.
Yes. So during COVID, what I was noticing a lot of times, a lot of people who were very, very, very sick had really bad teeth, and the people who had really good teeth weren't necessarily there. So I started looking into all that research behind it, and there are so many things like your cardiovascular risk with strokes, all related to oral health.
Isn't that wild, though, to think that, I mean, it's not when you put it all together.
Right.
If you really break it down, it makes so much sense. But when you say it as a blanket statement, it just kind of makes your eyes go wide because of how much that comes into play.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you a crazy question?
Course.
Okay, I'm throwing you on the spot here. Tim, I got your questions, but I'm just adding to them here. RFK has, obviously a speech issue.
Mm-hmm.
What is that disease? Do you know what it is?
So RFK
Jr., the presidential candidate, he can't really speak very well. He has a illness where it's like it basically killed his voice box, and he has a really hard time swallowing and speaking and projecting. And it's become kind of a conversation piece throughout pundits.
So I don't know exactly what he had, but it could be, if I'm just guessing. So some people have a mass or a cyst in that area, and some people have thyroid cyst, and that can get in there.
Spasmodic dysphonia.
Oh, yes. Okay. So that is something different. That is a neurologic kind of thing. So where those messages aren't getting from the brain to those working parts smoothly.
Okay.
And so you can have some vocal issues that way. And that's another thing. It can flare up. It can be great for a little while and then not so much. But when you talk about dysphonia, dys being like a dysfunction, and phonia being voice, and then you think of spasmodic. So So it like a spasm of the voice is what you're getting.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad I started throwing questions out there. Well, and now as we get back to dysphagia, did I say it right?
Yeah.
Am I getting there?
You're getting it.
I'm trying here. When we talk all the work that you guys do at OSF, what does the work kind of look like patient by patient? What's it start like? If I just show up and meet you for the first time, what does that care plan look like?
Well, if you would come to me, I do have some students that come and observe. Right away, we grab my laptop and my list of patients to see, and we're heading straight to the ICU. So we do the doctor rounding. So that's nurse, that's social work, that's PT, OT, the dietitian, the pharmacy group. They all come in, and we talk about each individual patient that's in the ICU to figure out what's going on. Now, speech, we work on a number of different things, even though this is June for National Dysphagia Awareness Month. But we also work on like the brain, so cognition in case someone gets confused, if they've had a concussion or a head injury, someone who has a speech problem, maybe their teeth fell out and their L's don't work, for example. So that could be something that I work on as well. Somebody may have a breathing tube in, and once that breathing tube comes out, I have to see them for a swallowing issue to make sure if you think about a tube being shoved in your mouth, it can cause injury.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure you can have that soda or that energy drink before we just let you have it willy-nilly. So
Absolutely. So before we go any further, too, let me ask you a little bit more. One final big question about dysphagia.
Sure.
Is it reversible?
Yes. So it's very, very dynamic. Yes.
This is really fascinating.
Yeah. So remember, it's a symptom of something.
Okay.
So when we talk about head and neck cancer, when your treatments go away and all the medicine that's trying to kill the cancer goes away, your swallowing can get better and can improve. With stroke, if it's a muscle issue, we can improve those muscles, just like if you were having difficulty walking. So there are some areas, of course, when we talk about ALS or those end-of-life issues where weakness is just more pronounced, we can do some things, but I can't fix it.
Right.
But we can make those changes so you can still have that energy drink over there. Yeah.
Jet fuel.
Your jet fuel.
These got to go. I'm telling you, that's going to be between that and nicotine this year. I'm making some changes,
There you
Christy.
go.
When I see us next time, you're going to go, man, why is he so grumpy today? As we keep moving forward, I know that the mall has a spot for OSF healthcare.
Yes.
And now, what does that rehab office in the mall offer when it comes to, dysphagia? How do people get in touch, reach out, all of that fun stuff?
Absolutely. So our outpatient services, we outgrew our previous place.
That's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem to have, but when you needed something sooner. So the mall had a great space that we were able to modify. So physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy is out there. We've got a great gym for the adults, and we've got a nice little gym for the kids as well. So we can see all ages and stages for different needs. If you have, my daughter actually just went for physical therapy. She is a runner and a softball player, and she does all kinds of sports and was having a knee issue. So I took her to my pals out there, and they worked her over so she can get back to the, cross country starts this week. So she'll be going. So they see a little bit of everything there. So even my people that I will see in the hospital, that's where I send them. It's over to my buddies. And it's a great facility over there if you get a chance to come out. I'd love for you to take a tour.
And go say hi to Christy.
Yeah.
How about that? It's always great talking to you, Christy, and really just really interesting information this month. And going forward, if folks have any more questions, or maybe all of a sudden they wake up one day and they're starting to realize they have this problem, is it better to call the primary care to say, hey, I'm having some problem swallowing, to see what the next step is, and kind of go from there?
Well, now that we're talking about it, are you having trouble swallowing today?
No. Well, actually, no, breathing.
Because it's so funny when I talk about this, you see everyone starting to swallow on their own, for sure. So yes, your first step if you're starting to have trouble, or if you notice a nagging annoyance, is to call your primary, of course. If something's sudden, if you're choking or something like that, please get more urgent care. I do have some people who will swallow too big of a piece of chicken and it gets stuck in their esophagus. That's something to come in and see us sooner for.
I wanted to ask you, this isn't dysphagia related, but kind of the same thing with swallowing. I know of folks that their esophagus gets smaller as
Yes.
So they have to get it stretched?
Yes, that's actually another form of dysphagia. Is
No way.
esophageal. Yes. So sometimes,
Let's talk about this.
Yeah. So if you think about the esophagus as almost like a tube sock, like elastic and things like that. So for some people, it's almost like taking an elastic hair tie and putting it over a portion of that tube sock, and it can get a little bit tighter. Now, if you remember from school, it's got to have that squeeze, that peristalsis that goes from the top to the bottom. When you have a hair tie in the way, it messes that up. So sometimes we have to go in, our GI doctors will go in and they'll take something and kind of break that elastic so it opens back up. That can happen from acid reflux, that can happen from age, all kinds of interesting things. Eat too big a piece of chicken and you laugh and it goes the wrong way and it gets stuck. That can also be a part of it. So sometimes, especially with my wiser folks, that's actually the first thing they start complaining about is discomfort in the chest and things getting stuck, because it actually is.
I'll be dang. That's actually really fast. I'm glad I asked that. How about that? I asked one good question today at 9:46. Christy, before I take a quick break, really appreciate your time and always thanks for stopping.
Thanks for having me as always. And I like to talk. Have me anytime. I'll come.
I'm glad your counselor made a good call there.
I
did. With that being said, before we take a quick break, let me fill you in on Hainer Library. I need you to get your library card, but Christy, don't hold this against me. I may or may not have filled out my library card application a couple of months ago, and guess who hasn't gone by and picked it up yet?
Oh, you should. They're great over there.
They're going to start charging me rent for that library. At Hainer Library, you can join Executive Director Mary Cordes and myself on the first and last Mondays of each month when we go through beyond the shelves of Hainer Library and learn all about the benefits and all the resources that are there, from their consumer report guides to the Library of Things to the Seed Library that we're going to learn about on Wednesday. There's so much more coming down the pipeline, and you need to get your library card to be a part of the fun. Go to HainerLibrary.org and you can sign up today. You get ad-free, for free streaming with Biblio Plus. You can unlock the door to everything, adventure, knowing, and fun by going to HainerLibrary.org.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
DJ Mike Keith.
This is where I am today. Let me show you where I started.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 9:50. Daily Show hitting you on a Monday, and we're learning all about the Trinity River Festival yet again, June the 7th and the 8th at your guys' new home. This Macaulay Heritage Project landing spot worked out pretty nicely. How's everyone doing this morning?
Good.
It's great. I'm fine.
Hanging in there?
Oh, yeah.
You guys got a lot of bands playing this weekend. This is a good problem to have. Non-stop music for 2 days. Where do we start? The floor is yours, Senators.
Well, I'll start. Friday, the music starts at 4 p.m. Are you getting a good read on me?
Yes.
All right. And we're starting it off with...
Justice and the Experience.
Yeah, Justice and the Experience. That's Dean Justice. And we'll have our acoustic stage going as well. We've moved the acoustic stage a little bit closer to where you don't have to track all the way back by the pond for the people that were there last year. But if you were there, or if you've ever been out there, we're going to have it on this porch of the old, what is that, old, like,
cabin?
Yeah, it's an old
cabin like they used to have way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
So
that's really
it'll be
cool.
on the front porch of that, so we're looking forward to it. We had that idea last year. We're like, why are we going another 3/4 of a mile or half a mile or whatever it is, whenever it could be a lot closer.
Right. Well, and as we're going through this, how did the new landing spot come about? Where was the idea to say, you know what, let's go up to Campsville and let's make this spot our own?
They let us come and we can camp. And we've always wanted camping.
Yeah.
Honestly, being Trinity's mom, that was one of the things that we used to do when she was little. We would go up there and we would hike. I'd take her and my other 2 kids up there. And so when we were looking for a new place that would let us camp also, it just made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that their whole mission is about conservation and doing good for the environment too, like it felt like the right move for us.
It definitely is such a great tie-in too. And whenever you're up there, especially last year, sitting there and listening to some great music, I'm sure that you sat there and had a moment to really think about those times you took those walks and all of that, really important moments. And to be able to have a weekend where, Chris, you hit it right on the head here. Ryan, do you know where I'm going with this?
No.
You don't have to drive home. You don't have to drive home. You can sit there, you can bring up, your Coors Light, your Silver Bullets, whatever you need, and you're just relaxing and listening to some great music all weekend. And now, how long does it take to put all the bands and all the musicians together? Because this is not an easy process for the folks at home.
We've been working since before Trinity River Fest last year on it.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
She's our backbone. If it wasn't for her, we'd just be a bunch of freaking hillbillies camping out. Somebody'd have like one of those 2-string old things, and I'd be over there on the moonshine jug.
You might do that anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say Dang it, Brian, you beat me to the punch there. Well, and honestly, to sit there and say that this is more than a year in the making, when all of a sudden the calendar rolls over to June, what is the thought process at that point? Because I'm sure it's go, go, go until the 7th and 8th, and might even be the 8th in the morning when you can start to relax a little bit. Is that, no?
We don't relax until after we get everything cleaned up on the
Really?
9th.
On the 9th, about,
we'll be
12 o'clock, we take about noon, we take a moment, we all kind of sit down as board members and are just like, whoa, right?
It's like,
kind of reflect on.
It's like, I never want to see you people again.
at least not for a few weeks, right?
Well, and throughout the year, I know that you guys do open mic nights and cleanups on certain roads throughout the community. And, throughout the next year going forward as we prepare for the Trinity River Festival again, what are some opportunities at Mavis and Milton Schoolhouse and some other spots where we can go and support you guys throughout the year to raise even more funds for the festival and Trinity's Way as a whole?
So we will have another open mic June 21st
okay.
at Mavis, and so we've kind of talked about if we were going to do it or not do it since we're coming right off of Trinity River Festival, but our last open mic was full up early on in all of our spots, and so since the community seems to like it, we always have a great time when we do it. We'll be out there again June 21st, and then the third Friday of every month. So
mm-hmm. I added
that is in July and August, but
And hopefully the open mic could be out in that patio instead of...
yeah, we'll be outside.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Weather permitting, of course.
And you can always stay tuned to the RiverBender calendar because I make sure that's in there. I always make sure to add it, and
nice,
every third Friday. Oh, no problem. And have you had someone yet that shows up to the open mic night that's made it onto the stage yet at Trinity River Festival?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Is that common? Oh, that's cool. I like that a lot.
Well, we've had people that played Trinity River Fest. You know, this is our 7th one.
Right.
So a lot of these people are coming back. We've got a few new faces.
Solar Material is one of them that we picked up from the open mic. So Will Marsh and Wyrus, they came out and did one of our first open mics last year.
Yeah,
and
Gabe.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we picked them up to come play Trinity River Festival.
That's what I think's awesome about this is it's almost a progression, you know, where you can have some folks that show up to the open mic night and, you know, they wow the crowd and all of a sudden there they are in the 7th and 8th, you know, on one of the stages playing some great music. Now, Spilly Nelson coming up is always a pretty big deal. How'd you guys get this one going? Was
They've
this just
coming since year 1, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Last year you had some too?
I've known Josh since either late teens or early 20s, and that means we're both old, by the way. and also, I know Andrew Crane for a long time too, and I met both of them through the radio program at Lewis and Clark College. So
I'll be darned.
That's why I have such a face for radio.
Well, I just think it's cool because you weren't just getting, you know, some folks that, you know, played for a couple of days, you know, and just looking for gigs. You have some great bands that are coming up all weekend. And now, have we figured out where we're going to be plotting our land for the 7th and 8th, Brian? Are you going to be up there both days, or you driving?
But I'm not camping. So
You aren't camping?
I'm not a camper.
Chris, are you a camper?
Yeah, I'm the one that they're going to come to in the middle of the night if there's an issue. So
Good call. Good call there. Camper?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Okay, see, I'm not, though. I'm a glamper, you know. I can't deal with bugs. I can do, like, a little RV or something out there, and then that's roughing it for me, you know?
We are going to have full-on bug attack. Yeah, I'm going to fist fight every single one of them.
There.
You know what? We should point out about camping, too. Although it is primitive camping, they do have great restrooms, flushable toilets, and
Really
showers.
good
And so,
even
though you're kind of
that's not camping.
You're kind of roughing it. You still have the opportunity to go clean up a little bit.
Right.
What a point! That is an awesome call to action.
And if you don't feel like cooking your own food, we do have food vendors.
We'll have the Pavilion out, who they are up in
They're good.
Campsville. They have a restaurant up there, and so they are going to come out and actually vend catfish fritters and pork tenderloin. And then we have another vendor that's
They
going to
have
be.
really good homemade chips too.
Oh yeah, they did have really good.
Yeah, they do. The pavilion's awesome.
Yeah, and you know they'll have food.
It's not like you're camping by yourself. There's a bunch of people out there camping.
Yeah, and it's the community aspect of it too, where it's a real festival, you know, and that's what I think's really cool about this, just start to finish across the board. Now we got to talk serious here. You got to get tickets. How do we get them?
Oh, you just go to the Trinity River Festival Facebook page, and there's actually a direct link on that Facebook page. That's the easiest way to get them. You can also go directly to our website, which is www.trinitysway.org, and there's a ticket link there too for you to get them.
Really cool. And, you know, there's so much interest, and now the day's here. And it just always seems like, even last year talking with all of you, you know, it just sneaks up on you. And before you know it, here's June 7th, or, you know, last year it was June 3rd, I believe it was on. You know, it's here. So get your tickets now. You don't want to miss out on this really great opportunity to help support Trinity's Way and just be a part of the festival itself. Now, what bands are we looking forward to the most?
One more thing about the tickets. If you're a slacker and a procrastinator like me, you can always come to the gate.
Oh!
Yeah, but
they're more expensive.
No, we're cash only at the gate. Because we're in such a remote location that we don't have the capacity to run our internet sales out there. So if you're wanting to pay by credit card or debit card or whatever, then definitely get the tickets. Ticket sales close Friday at midnight. Not Friday. Wednesday at midnight.
So this Wednesday at midnight.
Yeah, because we have to be able to print our ticket list to make sure we.
Well, I got this for the audience.
We head out there Thursday to get everything set up.
Do you really?
So, just so you know, if you got any important calls to make sure you make them before you get back.
No kidding.
Because unless you have a satellite phone, you're not calling from there.
Well, honestly, I don't think.
Which is a good thing in my.
It is. You get to be around
away from
music.
Technology and
Well, and that's why I love this idea, because that's the whole purpose of the festival and everything that you guys do with Trinity's Way is to be a part of nature and cleaning up the environment and enjoying, just the sights and sounds of it. And what better way? And honestly, Brian, I don't think they make an Ethernet cable that long for
No.
But going forward, guys, seriously, get your tickets and have a weekend of fun. So the pavilion's going to be there. Any other food vendors?
We do have another food vendor that's coming out. They're going to do like hot dogs, hamburgers,
Oh, cool.
Like bag chips, that type of stuff too. And then we have another vendor who's
Good.
going to do lemonade shake-ups.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Any adult-themed lemonade shake-ups or these...
You can make your own.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
We're strictly BYOB.
BYOB too. And now, should we bring our own trash bags, all that stuff too, so we can clean up our mess, get the...
I mean, that's great if people do, but we will have extra trash bags on hand. So typically we have somebody on our green team go out and just hand out trash bags to each campsite, see if anybody needs one, so they can, make sure they get it where it should go.
Right. And we were just talking, the three of us, and we went to Post Commons before we got here. We're thinking of a little experiment, trying to do recycling this year. So I have a truck that needs recycled anyway. And so it's going to be parked, and if someone sees it and they have stuff that is recycling, like aluminum or plastic water bottles or whatever, just throw it in the back of my truck.
Yeah, we don't want you to bring glass, though.
No glass.
No
Right.
glass.
Okay. Well, and that's honestly really smart. I'd be the idiot that brings glass and cuts my foot the first day and gets airlifted from the McCauley Heritage Project. You just wait and see. And going forward, too, enjoy the weekend, because this is what music festivals are all about. You don't need any damn cell phone to tell your friends you're listening to some great band somewhere. That's a memory that you can share. Just bring your friends with you, and you have them for life, and going forward. How can we volunteer with Trinity's Way? Because what I think is cool is just the litter cleanups. That's a really cool thing for us to be a part of and help support too.
Our next one will be the second Sunday in July, so I believe that's maybe the 8th or 9th.
That is July the 7th.
July
Oh, wait, no, I lied to you. The second Sunday, correct?
I'm going to say, yeah.
That is July the 14th.
That's not mathematically possible.
July the 14th is the next litter cleanup, but throughout the year they can support monetarily, correct, with donations? And
Yeah, definitely. You can always donate directly on our Facebook page or on our website, too.
Really cool. And now, how much are tickets for this weekend?
If you want to camp and come out, they're $50 for a weekend pass. If you don't want to camp, they're $20 per day. So 20 for Friday, 20 for Saturday.
And who had to do the event listing on Facebook? I'm curious.
I did.
You are a trooper.
Hey, I wasn't lying earlier when I said she's our backline.
I mean, you have to be. This is the most detailed event list. Thank you, because I do the community calendar here, and you know how awful it is when someone says, showtime's at 7, and that's all they put in their description. I'm like, well, what do I do with
I've
this?
learned over the years, it saves me a lot of work on the back end, because otherwise people are just going to message me and say, ask this question, what band's playing at this time, or what do we need to know about camping, or that type of stuff. So I feel, get it all out there. It's worth the time and effort.
And since I MC it, all I got to do is print that out, and then my job's basically done.
There you go. Well, and too, wanted to point out, pet friendly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But leashes, all that stuff, just the common,
Well, they had to make it pet friendly, or else me and Brian couldn't be there.
Good morning, Brian.
I don't know why he lumps me in with that.
And then children 10 and under free?
Yes.
Really cool. And wanted to make sure you guys know, even though you're in Campsville, you are camping in luxury with some amenities like hot showers and great bathrooms and all of those things that you kind of take for granted before you get out in the woods. And
they do have firewood up there too.
Yeah, they have firewood to
fire
buy
pits and everything.
right on site.
And
that's really cool.
What is it, $5 a bundle, or I think? And that's a donation to McCauley and helps them keep their.
I mean, that's the great thing about that location too, is that they've also got fishing ponds. You can fish. They've got trails. I mean, there's 940 acres of land up there, so you can do a little hike with a beautiful scenic overlook of the Illinois River. So, if you want to take a break from the music, or you've got a little bit of downtime, there's other things that you can do too while you're there.
That's like if you camp out Friday night, we don't even start the music till 11:30 on Saturday, so that perfect thing to wake up and hike in the morning. Make yourself some coffee or whatever, and go for a hike and get in touch with nature, and it's a good time. We had a lot of people doing some hiking last year, and they have all levels of difficulty in hiking.
Yeah, they definitely have some, more beginner trails, more intermediate trails.
And then, do
Some
they
with
have
a lot of
expert?
elevation.
Do they go to expert level? I think they
I
do.
would say, that it's, probably intermediate
Yeah.
or moderately difficult.
Experts create their own trail, Chris,
Straight through the woods, any way you want to go.
I'm telling you what, though, I wouldn't even be on intermediate. They'd have one just for CJ. It'd be a straight line back to my car, to get me out of there.
You could always stop at Barefoot Inn and Hardin and see if they actually have one of the Barefoot Bigfoot truck, big trucks, and just drive it through the woods.
That'd be cool, too.
I don't see a problem with that. And then again, I'm not really
Yeah, well, there's a reason I host a talk show, Chris, But as we're going forward, I got this. You ready? I'm going to knock this out. On Friday, the main stage, Justice and the Experience kick off at 4 p.m. at 5:30 on the main stage. Abigail Tate, Agents of the Free, follow at 7 p.m., then Cricket and the Grilled Avocados. Good band name. 8:30 p.m. and then 10 p.m. Spilly Nelson wraps up the night on a Friday on the main stage. However, the acoustic stage, because there's a whole lot of music going on at 4:45 p.m. on Friday on the acoustic stage. Hallelujah, Lily. Whew, I was getting a little tongue-tied there. 6 p.m. Everhart and Company at 7:15. Everhart and Light. 8:30 p.m. on Friday, the acoustic stage. Set break, Sarah's. And then on Saturday on the main stage, 11:30 a.m. Joshua Grassel and Friends. 1 p.m. Framley Values. 2:30 p.m. Datura?
Yeah,
I was getting nervous. The Peace Lords play at 4 p.m. Silver Material at 5:30 p.m. 7 p.m. Modern Pasta. 8:30 p.m. The Trophy Mules. Aaron Joe and the Greater Good going to be joining the main stage at 10 p.m. followed by Liver Jones and the Flatworms at 10:30 p.m. and then Liver Jones and Aaron Joe collab around 11:30ish that night. And then on the acoustics, we aren't done. See, this is why you need to get tickets. All this great music. On the acoustic stage, I'm sweating. 12 p.m. Sawyer Chronicle. 1:15 p.m. on a Saturday, Gabe Brady, who was on the open mic nights and made the trek all the way up to the festival. Then at 2:30 p.m. Will Marsh takes the acoustic stage on Saturday. 3:45 p.m. Joshua Grassel. Jason Dunham follows him at 5 p.m. And then I like this. What's a psychedelic symphony? I feel like I've done one of those before. Oh, no, is that a band? Okay. 6:15 That was good! 6:15 p.m. Psychedelic Symphony, 7:30 p.m. Bill's Problem. And then the Pruitt Brothers wrap up the night on the acoustic stage at 8:45. Tickets again, how much do they cost?
$20 a day.
Oh, you can't beat
$20
that.
a day, $50 if you want to come out, camp for the whole weekend.
You cannot beat
And
that.
we encourage the camping. A lot of this is about building relationships and meeting new people, and we're all like-minded, and we just come out and have a good time.
Have you planned next year's already? Is that already started?
Well, of course. I mean, it's pretty much a rolling, ongoing kind of.
Whenever we stopped and got coffee on the way here, the guy sold us our coffee. He's in a band, and I was telling him about it, and I'm like, we're always looking for people, and next year it'll be the beginning of June again. And told him to check out our website and come out to an open mic and get to know us and let us hear you.
It's really cool.
We definitely make sure that we're not going to get people up there that sound like two twines and a moonshine jug. We're pretty proud of we're pretty proud of our sound. We have a very good sound system. Actually, this year we had to break away from our normal sound guys, but Spilly Nelson is actually very much responsible for doing our sound this year. Josh Witt is his name, and we're just gonna blast it out. It'll be the same sound as you're used to.
Well, and that's what I think's cool about the festival too, because you guys really made this your own festival, and it ties into everything that the mission of Trinity's Way is about. Because sometimes when you put on a project and you put on a festival or an event, you put the event on, but you forget why you put the event on, because all of a sudden the lights turn on and here's more names and here's this and this, and then you kind of lose sight of it. But here, I mean, for over 7 years, it's all really tied into that message of Trinity's Way, and really just multiplied it to the point to where it keeps growing, and I don't think it's stopping anytime soon. And how has the focus been on that? What's the goal been to really make sure that you incorporate all aspects of Trinity's Way, of Trinity, herself, and then of course, just the atmosphere of the organization?
I mean, I think for us, it's a constant reflection and reevaluation process after we do an event, any event, whether it's Trinity River Festival or Trivia Night last October,
which
our open mics, our litter cleanups.
Doing it again? Let me know when I can promote.
We always talk about like what's true to Trinity's spirit, and we were really happy with the move to McCauley because of their mission and being able to add camping and being able to have it be pet friendly. And I think for next year, we're looking at doing some different things, like possibly adding like yoga on Saturday mornings.
Oh, cool.
Guided hikes, different elements and aspects of kind of environmental conservation.
Right. Which the guided
Really
hikes,
cool.
you don't have to worry. I'm not going to be guiding them.
That's a good point, Chris.
Well, I'll be busy running because I MC, and I'll be. My goal is to introduce every single person on the acoustic stage. Last year I did everyone on the main stage. But the acoustic stage was so far away, I couldn't break away. But this is a lot closer to the main stage. But it's still got a nature break to where the sound from the main stage isn't going to overwhelm.
That's cool.
The acoustic stage. But I want to be introducing both. That's my goal, is to do both stages.
That's a pretty eclectic group of musicians. If you don't like one band, you'll like the next one.
That's
I
a
mean,
great
I think
point.
it's important
Really cool.
to talk about just the different types of music that are going on. Like, it's not all one genre that's going to be happening. We've tried to do a good mix of a little bit of country, a little bit of emo, a little bit of hard rock, a little bit of
She's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
No way.
Yeah. Guy with a Slayer hat likes hard rock. Are you kidding me?
Well, and Brian, what are you looking forward to this weekend? Going into Trinity River Festival. Anything that you're kind of?
Oh, just getting to see all the people out there, listen to some music.
Has it become one of those things where you're starting to get some families that are repeat customers coming back up for at the River Festival? You're going to see John and his couple of friends and his kids. Has that gotten to that point too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah.
We've had people that have been there every single year. I mean, April and I have been there every single year.
I mean, for these two to put on this event 7 years in a row, to do anything in 7 years in a row is, especially when you did it through COVID and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the online event was actually our most profitable because our cost was nil.
It was next to nothing. And I think we might have been one of the first live stream festivals during COVID.
Well, that's the way the timing of it all worked out, and.
One, it shows, Chris, really, how important Trinity's Way is, and how much it means to you, because like Brian said, it's a great point. 7 years for anything, is, especially in today's generation, is just unheard of. And to do 7, not only just, we're not talking here just a pop-up barbecue stand, we're talking a full-on music festival.
Right.
It shows the commitment and really how important Trinity's Way is, not only for you guys, because we know how important it is for you all, but how important it is for the community too. And to have an organization like this, and it's really great to support. And if you can't make it this weekend, folks, on the 7th or the 8th, make sure you mark your calendars just to go and check out Trinity's Way and donate if you could. It's trinitysway.org, and you can help support them throughout the year. This helps for the Trinity River Festival next year, so that way Chris can take some guided hike classes so he can teach you the right way to hike. No, I'm just kidding. But you can help support. And then on July the 14th is the second Sunday of July, where you can help with those roadside cleanups and make sure that you're helping our area look as best as it can, as Trinity would have wanted it to be. And really just thank you so much for always coming on. And if I can ever be of help, just give me a call and we'll make sure it's on the calendar.
Right.
Yeah, great.
And actually, the cleanups, that's how Trinity's Way started.
Yeah.
It was, we did a cleanup because I was reading an article that she did for Orion online magazine, and it was about how she was disgusted by the caves and how there was crap down there. Hell, the first time we did a cleanup down there, I found a portable 2-liter Pepsi or whatever bottle meth lab. down there. Yeah, some kids found it, and they called me over. I'm like, here, let me touch it.
It's not funny.
I'm not too worried about chemicals in my body.
Oh my God. But I mean, honestly though, in all seriousness, if a child was going out there in the caves and just going with their friends, I could have killed somebody. And it's important to do those cleanups. And even though it's just amazing that someone has the audacity and really the guts to create a mobile meth lab.
People will throw away. We found a stack of shingles that somebody took off their roof.
Yeah, roofing materials. Yeah. Get a lot of dumping going on.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, we've been doing
do
this.
litter cleanups.
God,
We've been
people
doing
are
this
so
over 6
freaking
years,
stupid. Yeah,
and
Chris.
Some of the stuff I'm not even going to say, even though this is an FCC regulated. I can't tell you some of the stuff I will in person. Come up to McCauley Heritage Project this weekend and ask me
learn
about
what
some
they
of the
find.
weird stuff we have found on cleanups.
But seriously, folks, get your tickets. TrinitiesWay.org. You can sign up to get your tickets by going to the Facebook event page, buy your tickets, and see just 2 days full of music, great vendors, and just a great atmosphere, and really supporting a great cause and just helping out. And that's really the cool thing about this. So as you start your summer, I hope you start it with the Trinity River Festival. Brian, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so.
You kept
I
Chris
made
on-
a fact checking.
I saw it. I was getting nervous over there. When I said 7th annual, I kind of got...
You're
I was
getting graded, CJ. This is your final.
Oh, God. The last time I was graded, the teacher laughed at me and just said, just take a left out the door, you know?
Well, here, I got something to show you. I've been cleaning up my junk drawer, and I found that.
Oh, my God. A blast from the past. Errands Made Easy. Have you seen this, Chris?
No.
Nacello's Errand Service. This was my business back in the day.
Wow.
In high school.
When your CEO project?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, and then I found out I got in trouble. Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
Because I started leaving school to do jobs.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me.
Oh, man, that wasn't a good thing. But at 1016, what is a good thing? Stopping by the Trinity River Festival and really just enjoying some great music. Stopping by on the 14th and helping out with the litter cleanup. You can go to trinitiesway.org. That's Trinity's Way.
14th of July.
Yeah. Oh, 14th of July. Thank you, Chris. And TrinitiesWay.org to get more information. But we will see you this weekend on the 7th and the 8th at the Trinity River Festival at the McCauley Heritage Project. Oh, I got to take care of business. I am just slacking today, Chris. It's the effect you have on me, you know. Let me tell you about Village Dispensary. How about that? A brand new client and a brand new supporter of the show. Village Dispensary, I will be doing a live show this Saturday from. They're doing their grand opening celebration at Village Dispensary, and I just love it. You know, so if you're looking to channel your inner Snoop Dogg, you need to swing by Village Dispo for the best cannabis around. Their friendly staff will have you in and out faster than you can say. Chris, D-O-double-G, whether you're after vapes, flower, topicals, tinctures, edibles, and more, you need to stop by and see the stash that is truly gonna make you smile. Locally owned, community rooted, and union built, Village Dispensary believes everyone deserves quality cannabis. Check out VillageDispo.com for their amazing selection. Get the Aero Pro, and don't forget to tell them that CJ sent you over their way. That's Village Dispensary or VillageDispo.com.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Let me give you a little bit of a news break. Technically, it's still the top of the hour because we aren't at 10:30 yet, so, bear with me. Here's what's happening around the River Bend. Make sure you sign up for your breaking news alerts. We'll take you to Edwardsville at 10:22. Edwardsville's 26th annual Route 66 Festival kicks off on Saturday, June the 8th, and it promises a journey through the historic legacy of the Mother Road, hosted by the city's Park and Recreation Department. This year's festival offers an array of opportunity for you and your family this Saturday, June the 8th, for the 26th annual Route 66 Festival. A new mural celebrating the revival of the MRF was unveiled on the side of the old Royal Office Products building on Broadway and Piasaw Street. The artwork is anticipation of the festival's return on the 22nd of June at the amphitheater, designed by Jordan Bauer of Rex Productions and brought to life by artists Caleb Hauk and Joe Albanese of Fly Right Signs. The mural commemorates the festival, which last occurred in 1980. The event will feature headliners Larkin Poe, supporting acts Tyler Bryant in the Shakedown, Fastball, and special guest Feel. It's coordinated with the Alton Midwest Nationals F1 Powerboat Racing. Lucas Krebs' 3-run homer in the 5th inning broke open the game as Edwardsville defeated Bradley Bourbonias 5-2 at Jack Horenberger Field in the IHSA Class 4A Illinois Wesleyan University sectional final. Tony Eberlin pitched 6+ innings, striking out 7 despite early opportunities for both teams. Edwardsville took the lead in the 4th and expanded in the 5th with Krebs homer. Bradley Burbanius rallied in the 7th, but could not overcome Edwardsville's lead. The win advances the Tigers to the IWU Super Sectional State quarterfinal against Downers Grove North. The Tigers' record stands at 30-8, while the Boilermakers finish their season at 15-12. Finally, a news this morning at 10:24. Hainer Library has debuted a new seed library available at all 3 of its locations, offering herb, fruit, vegetable, and even flower seeds. Mary Court is the executive director, who will join us in just about 10 minutes or so, shared her excitement about the initiative, which was developed in response to patron requests. Patrons can select up to 6 packets of seeds to take home, each labeled with sowing information, and plant notes. The seed library includes flower seeds like zinnia, sunflowers, and vegetables like pumpkin and zucchini, and herbs like basil and sage. The library encourages donations to enrich the collection and provide gardening books, DVDs, and kits for enthusiasts. At 10:25, let's take a look at your weather right now. Currently, it's 82 degrees. I bet you it feels like 90 out there, and I hit it right on the dot. Feels like 90 degrees. Today, warm and humid with variable cloudiness. A gusty thunderstorm potentially this afternoon after 4 p.m. Watch for flash flooding, hail, and even localized damaging winds. Tonight, a thunderstorm in spots this evening. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and humid. Currently, right now, the air quality is sitting at 28, which is good. Grass pollen, 12, which is moderate. And tree is at moderate for air quality. The UV index at 8, which is very high. So if you go outside to do some gardening today, just go on ahead and put that SPF 50 on. Maybe even get some of that toner mixed into it so you're getting a tan and keeping your skin safe. Temperatures reach 87 degrees today. They drop down to 70 overnight. We have a 60% chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. On Tuesday, the 4th day of June, 80% chance of more thunderstorms, a high of 81, a low of 70. On Wednesday, the 5th of June, a high of 85, a low of 66, a 60% chance of thunderstorms. And on Thursday, the 6th, no rain in the forecast, a high of 80, a low of 60. And on Friday, the 7th, a high of 78, a low of 60, and sunny skies hitting the area for the first time in a few weeks. That happens on the 7th of June. No clouds in the forecast that day. For time and temperature throughout the day, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Tom Lane. He is your local State Farm agent. Before we take a quick break, and we look at Skycam, let me fill you in on Centerstone. They're a great partner for us, and I truly mean that. Whenever I decide about show segments, because that's what pays the bills, the biggest thing that I look for are partners, because so many times, people just want to grab sponsors, and they don't really drive home a message, and that's big for our show. And on Centerstone, we're so grateful to talk to their experts about mental health and substance use disorder treatment, a big thing and information you need to know before you need to know it, if you kind of know what I'm talking about. So if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addictions possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone's a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you based on the latest science. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery, so many. But one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be that constant guiding force for you, not with you, for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anybody, but so can recovery. So start working towards your recovery today by visiting Centerstone online at recoverwithus.org, recoverwithus.org, or by calling 1-877-HOPE. 123.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Alrighty, 10:33. Mary Cordes joins us in, I believe, 2 minutes. I think. She normally comes in around here. Here's the All-Star Award, and it goes, the first one of the day, of the week, of June. It goes to Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, the rat-hating mayor of New York. Remember, he got the rat czar, he wanted all of them gone, but Mr. Adams can't follow his own rules. Let's find out. New York's rat-hating mayor has once again been ticketed for a rat infestation at his Brooklyn property. Oh, Mayor Adams' latest ticket was issued by a city health inspector on the 16th of May at a row house he owns in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood. The inspector observed fresh rat droppings and even a rat burrow. Man, those things are like the size of a subdivision. The ticket, first reported by the Daily News, was Adams' not first, not second, not third or fourth. It was his fifth rodent violation since he became mayor 2 years ago. You know, well, he can contest the ticket July the 7th before an Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings officer. A spokesperson for Adams, Liz Garcia, said in a statement, the mayor prides himself on keeping his property clean. Oh, I bet he does. Yeah, sounds like it, Liz. Sounds like he's cleaning. He will review the summons and follow all standard procedures. I don't know. How about cleaning up the property? That might help. Adams frequently proclaims that, quote, I hate rats, and once tried to prove it by demonstrating a device that drowned them in a vat of caustic liquid. God, this guy's mean. He appointed the city's first rat czar last year after posting a help wanted ad seeking applicants who would be committed to the wholesale slaughter of the pests. Adams, who now lives in Gracie Mansion, the official mayor's residence, challenged the previous rat tickets he got at the Brooklyn property. Three were dismissed, but the mayor paid $300 to settle the fourth, and Adams told a hearing officer he had spent $7,000 on rat mitigation at the property. Well, that's too bad, Mayor. Got to get it done. All-Star Award belongs to Mayor Adams today. What about this, though? A resort town in Spain is attempting to calm tourists' rowdy bachelor and bachelorette parties by banning blow-up dolls and giant appendage costumes from being displayed in public. I don't even know if I want to go to this place. Plata de Ora, a resort town at Costa Brava with a population of 12,500, has become a popular destination for bachelor and bachelorette parties, with several companies offering travel packages aimed at the celebrations. However, the town says, nay, it's been host to up to 300,000 tourists in a single week, a weekend. 300,000 tourists in a town of 12,005 in a weekend. I can see why they're getting frustrated. Mayor Jimenez announced a new bylaw that banned people from going out in public without clothing or only in their underwear or with clothing or accessories representing human genitals or dolls with other accessories of a sexual nature. Violations have fines ranging from $325 to $1,600. Jimenez said that pre-wedding celebrations have gotten out of hand in the town recently, and they're threatening the peace of the locals. The police chief, David Puertas, cited a recent example where a bachelor party used gaffer tape to bind the groom-to-be to a lamppost and disturbed residents by playing loud music long into the night. The town's new bylaw follows similar measures instituted in the Spanish locals, including Tulsa de Mar, Lorette de Mar, and Sylvia Malaga and Granada. How about that? I mean, that is wild. So you better not be acting a fool over there on those bachelorette parties, or bachelor parties. All right, one final one for you before we take a quick break and hopefully talk to Mary Cordes. So here's a mystery. It isn't even an All-Star Award. Let me take that down. The All-Star Award today went to Mayor Adams for his fifth violation. Congratulations to the mayor of New York. But, getting to this. So a human skull, I'm running out of breath, was padlocked to an exercise dumbbell and fished out of a New Orleans waterway. But it's leaving police with a huge mystery on their hands. The skull, found earlier this month by a man using a red rope and magnet the size of a hockey puck on a bridge to pull things out of the water. Now, the report was recently released and obtained by the New Orleans Advocate. The fisherman also found a handgun and a gun barrel in the water on May the 18th. The 15-pound dumbbell was padlocked around the skull, which was fully decomposed, lacking a jaw or even the top row of teeth. The magnet fisherman flagged down a passing police officer after finding after making the find off of the Bayou St. John Bridge. Now, New Orleans police did not have any further updates on the case this week, and the coroner did not say whether he had confirmed the victim's identity. Police have been seeking tips from the public as they investigate this case, and it's just, you know, one of these things. I don't know if you guys have seen these, okay, but they have something that I think is so cool. And it's called magnet fishing. And I don't know if you've, especially if you're, you know, someone that's older out there, I'm not, you know, picking on ages or anything, but if you're older and you haven't seen this yet, put it into YouTube. Just type in magnet fishing. And it's really fascinating what some of these guys find. Now, what's also fascinating is the conversation they have with law enforcement, because they're pulling, they're pulling everything out of this lake and rivers. They're pulling guns, pipe bombs, they're pulling it's amazing all of the things that they're finding in these rivers and these waterways. If you have a chance, check it out. I was last year trying to get one of them on that's pretty well known, but I'll try again to see if I can find a magnet fisherman and talk to him, because some of what they find is so fascinating. I mean, the mysteries are just there. You know, how did this get there? What was this involved in? What happened that night? You know, all of those questions. So if you have a chance, check it out. But that's what led to this discovery of a human skull being padlocked to a dumbbell. And, I mean, no one knows what happened yet, but, I mean, we can all assume that it wasn't the most flattering experience. With that being said, we are supposed to be talking to Mary Cordes here in a couple of minutes. Hope she's okay. I'm going to send her a text. But before I send Mary a text, let me fill you in on another supporter of our show, and that is Picture This and More, okay? So, a couple of years ago, I've told you this story. I was getting a Christmas gift for a family member, and you know, I'm not really a big sentimental person, you know, because to me, memories are more sentimental than an item, you know, because I can always look back and think until, you know, I can't anymore. So maybe items are a good thing as I'm speaking out loud here, but I didn't know what to do. And so I called Quint at Picture This and More, and I said, hey man, I don't know what I got going on. I go, I have this idea. I don't know how to execute it. He goes, CJ, just bring it into me. So I walked in the door at Picture This and More, and that's when they were still up at the Piasaw Center, and I brought it in, and Quint took my item, which was an item. It wasn't really a picture, and I said, well, he goes, do you have a picture? And I said, yeah, this one would be cool. He goes, okay, I got it. He made this look so amazing, and when I gave her the gift on Christmas, it was one of my favorite gifts I've ever given because it looked great, the quality was there, the meaning behind it was there, and it looked like museum quality. And when we're talking about custom framing, we aren't talking about that Dollar General special. When you go into Picture This and More, you're getting a work of art on top of it being framed, your work of art being framed. The frame itself is one too, and whether or not you're needing custom framing, shadow boxes, or just stop by and see all the amazing prints they got, all the amazing paintings. There's local artwork that's being displayed for you to go and pick up to. They're right over there on Broadway, and once you stop in to Picture This and More on Broadway, just tell them that CJ sent you over their way. That's Picture This and More right there on Broadway.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:45. Here we go, Daily Show. On this date in history, we'll talk to Mary next week, I think. Oh, here's what happened on this date in history, and we'll start off with the big one. In 1943, the Zoot Suit riots began in Los Angeles. That happened on the 3rd of June, 1943. Getting worn out here on this Monday. In European history, on this date in the year 2017, the terrorist attacks on the London Bridge occurred just 7 years ago. In 2010, Jordan Vandersloot was arrested for murder. In South America, that happened in 2010, and still today, that case remains prevalent. In European history, in 1937, the Duke of Windsor weds the American socialite Wallis Simpson. And in presidential history, one of my, even though people don't like when I say this, one of the most underrated presidents as far as I'm concerned, President John Adams arrived in Washington, D.C. as the new capital city is being built and the paint was still wet on the White House walls. In space exploration in 1965, the first American astronaut walked in space on June the 3rd. Also, in Asian history, in 1989, the crackdown at Tiananmen began on this date. In 1956, in art, literature, and film history, rock and roll banned in Santa Cruz, California. Rock and roll has got to go. That happened in 1946. In 1864, during the Civil War, Union disaster at Cold Harbor. That happened on this date, June the 3rd. 1864. In 1916, during World War I, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson, or could be the real president, his wife at the time, signs the National Defense Act in 1916. During World War II in 1940, the Germans bombed Paris and they killed hundreds of civilians. That happened June the 3rd, 1940. In 1915, during World War I, Austro-German troops recaptured the Przemysl Fortress from the Russians. That happened on this date in history. On this date, music. American singer-songwriter Andrew Gold died in his sleep at the age of 59 from a heart attack. He had the 1977 U.S. number 7 single Lonely Boy and the 1978 UK number 5 single Never Let Her Slip Away. As a member of Wax, the 1987 UK number 12 single Bridge to Your Heart. On this date in 2006, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were at number 1 on both the US and UK album charts with Stadium Accordium, the band's 9th studio album. On this date in 2003, I'll be seeing this guy in about a month. Barry Manilow suffered a broken nose after he accidentally walked into a wall at his home in Palm Springs. And is this real? Did this actually happen? I was only like 4 years old. Barry Manilow suffered a broken nose after he accidentally walked into a wall at his home in Palm Springs and knocked himself unconscious. He passed out for 4 hours, did not endure any lasting effects as doctors determined that surgery was not necessary. Can I ask how he walked into the wall? I mean, was he sober? Kind of the question I wanted to know. On this date in 2002, Paul McCartney, Sting, Elton John, Brian Wilson, Cliff Richard, Ozzy Osbourne, The Corrs, Will Young, Atomic Kitten, and S Club 7 all appeared at the Queen's Jubilee concert at Buckingham Palace in London. You know, Buckingham Palace, seriously, one of my favorite places. I just don't know why. It's just something about it, you know, because I'm not really a big gaudy guy. But just going to London and walking that little court area, that plaza, my favorite thing to do, like ever. In the year 2000, Kenny Chesney and Tim McGraw were arrested in Buffalo, New York, after Chesney ran away from a mounted reserve deputy's horse, and McGraw attacked deputies that tried to corral him. You thought that this Jordan thing was bad, you know, the golfer. Man, Chesney asked to sit on the horse outside Ralph Wilson Stadium, and the daughter of the deputy gave him permission to do so. Then Chesney mounted the horse and rode away. He was told to stop, but ignored orders from other deputies. The deputies were then attacked by McGraw and his entourage. What? Chesney was charged with disorderly conduct and released on bail. McGraw charged with second-degree assault. Is this real? Obstructing governmental administration, menacing, and resisting arrest. He was released on a $2,500 bail, but no wonder the Inquirer started picking up on Tim McGraw. Man, I had no idea. How about that? You learn something new every day. In 1995, Bryan Adams started a 5-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles chart with Do 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 Do. Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman? Taken from the film Don Juan DeMarco, it became Adams' third U.S. solo #1. It also became a #4 hit in the United Kingdom. Oh, wow. On this date in 1983, this is sad. U.S. session drummer Jim Gordon murdered his mother during a psychotic episode. Diagnosed schizophrenic during his 1984 trial, Gordon was sentenced to 16 years to life in prison. He was a Grammy Award winner for co-writing Layla with Eric Clapton, and Gordon also worked with the Beach Boys, John Lennon, George Harrison, Frank Zappa, and many other artists. That happened on this date in 1983. I had no idea. In 1977, Bob Marley and the Wailers released Exodus. The album featured the hits Jammin', Waitin' in Vain, Three Little Birds, and One Love. In 1999, Time magazine named Exodus the best album of the 20th century. In 1972, the Rolling Stones kicked off their 7th North American tour at the Pacific Coliseum, Vancouver, Canada. The 32-date tour grossed $4 million, making it the richest rock tour in history at the time. Deep Purple released their 4th studio album, Deep Purple and Rock, on this date in 1970. It was the first album to feature the classic MK2 lineup of Ritchie Blackmore, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, John Lord, and Ian Pace. In 1968, Valerie Solanas shot Andy Warhol and art critic curator Mario Amaya at Warhol's studio in New York. I had no idea. Solanas had been to see Warhol after asking for the return of a script which had apparently been misplaced. Warhol seriously wounded in the attack and barely survived. I had no idea. Wow. In 1967, Aretha Franklin was at #1 on the U.S. singles chart with her version, bet you didn't know this, with her version of the Otis Redding hit Respect. A #10 hit on the UK chart, Aretha scored her first UK #1 and 20 years later with the George Michael duet, I Knew You Were Waiting. The Doors in 1967 released Light My Fire, where it went on to shoot to #1 on the singles chart. When the Doors were booked to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show, they were asked to change the line, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," as the sponsors were uncomfortable with the possible reference to drug taking. The band agreed to do so and did a rehearsal using the amended lyrics. However, during the live performance, of course, Jim Morrison sang the original lyric, after which they were informed they would never appear on the Ed Sullivan Show again, which only probably lasted another 3 months anyway. In 1964, Ringo Starr, during a photo session, was taken ill, suffering from tonsillitis days before a world tour. was set to start. After a last-minute phone call from George Martin, session drummer Jimmy Nicol rushed to EMI Studios, where he and the Beatles ran through 6 songs from their tour repertoire in a quick rehearsal. Nicol replaced Ringo and became a Beatle for 11 days. In 1953, Elvis graduated from J.C. Holmes High School in Memphis. His graduation photo shows him having a split curl in the middle of the forehead, later becoming his trademark. He was the first member of his family to graduate high school. Born on this date in music, anyone good? Okay. Billy Powell, American musician and longtime keyboardist of Lynyrd Skynyrd from 1972 up until his death in 2009. They had, of course, the 1974 U.S. number 8 single, Sweet Home Alabama, Free Bird. Powell died at the age of 56 of a suspected heart attack on the 28th of January, 2009. Powell called police saying he was having trouble breathing, and emergency services tried to resuscitate the musician, but he was pronounced deceased an hour later. And that's about it. Born on this date in history. There you go. At 10:55, we'll take a quick break and wrap up the Monday that was. Right after this, on Riverbender. Wait, nope. I got to do some business. Let me fill you in on Alton Little Theater as they kick off on their 91st season. The 90th, wrapped up with Singing in the Rain, and the 91st season gets started with Oliver, the big one. But right now at Alton Little Theater, altonlittletheater.org, you can go and get the tickets for the Princesses and Princes and Not Too Naughty cabaret concert, which is taking place right now. You have just a few more days to take the little ones to see their favorite heroes, their favorite villains, and just enjoy the day. Nick the Pancake Guy is going to be doing a breakfast again on the 8th. 2 different times where you can have that real resort experience, because, you know, they'll sue me for copyright if I say their name. And you can enjoy without going to Florida for the summer. Go right over here to Alton Little Theater, and you can enjoy the Princesses, and Not Too Naughty Villains cabaret concert for a few more days. And now go to altonlittletheater.org, get your 91st season ticket and save big. But also, if you don't get the season ticket, just get tickets to Oliver, which takes the stage in August. That's Alton Little Theater or altonlittletheater.org.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Yeah.
Let me fill you in on Holmes Outdoor Services. Ethan Holmes is the best, and he needs you to work for him. He's looking to hire some folks that want to work in the landscaping, hardscaping sector of the industry. He's looking for people to help cut grass and just to help out with all the projects he's doing. You know, at Holmes Outdoor Services, you're getting more than just the service. You're getting the person, and that's what we used to pay for back in the day. Remember when you called, I don't know, let me give my grandpa some love here. You called Rigdon Sewer Service because there was only one person that could fix your problem, and that was Bob Rigdon. Same thing with Ethan Holmes and Holmes Outdoor Services. You got something that you need done, maybe a driveway pad, maybe you need some rock put in somewhere, maybe you need some landscaping boulders, decking. Call Ethan Holmes. Stop by Holmes Outdoor Services on Facebook and make sure you tell them that I sent you your way. Also, call Denise Sparks, sparksjunkremoval.net, and start with your weekly trash pickup today. My parents haven't looked back, and I love those purple and yellow trash cans. They pop up, pop, 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 mating like bunny rabbits, and it's because of Denise Sparks' care for her clients. She treats you like you. How about that? She doesn't treat you like a number. And when you call Denise Sparks, you get Denise Sparks. You don't get somebody in Indiana going, yeah, we're going to put this on an expedited process and we're going to take care of this. No. When you call Sparks Junk Removal, you get Sparks Junk Removal. Now I'm talking about weekly trash pickup, but if you need that rubber tire dumpster rental, it's perfect. You get that dumpster in there and you aren't cracking your concrete or putting all those running boards down. They bring it in. You put your junk in, they bring it out. Plus, if you got a hot tub that's been there since the financial crisis, maybe you got some fencing that fell down and you've left it in your yard all jumbled up and mangled during the Clinton administration. The neighbors are going to report you to the city. You're going to get cited. Call Denise Sparks and let her help you. Visit sparksjunkremoval.net and reclaim your space today. I'm out of time. I'll see you here on Tuesday for more of our daily show. A full show yet again. Man, I've been kicking butt and taking names lately. I needed that vacation. I'll see you back here tomorrow live at 9. Until then, just try your best to stay out of jail.
Oh, yes, he did. He said he would.